Greetings viewers and welcome back to what I'm hoping will be another educational video for you. If you clicked on the video title, you're interested in finding out what you can throw in your crafting stations as fuel. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So the reason I came up with the idea for this video is because when I first started playing, I didn't really realize that coal had multiple uses. I just assumed that it was fuel for a forge. And then subsequently any other crafting stations, such as the chem station, I didn't realize that you needed it to make tires or to make gunpowder until I got later in the game and started getting a little bit more detailed with the stuff that I was doing. So it started making me wonder, well, what else can I throw in here for fuel? I know most people use wood, but I kind of got a little bit curious and started poking around, and I went through essentially what I thought, and there's obviously something maybe I missed, and you can tell me down below if there's something you use or have used that you know works that I've missed here. But I've kind of went through all of the items that are collectible in a normal game, not just creative. If you're running around in a survival game and you absolutely need something or keep your forge running, you don't have enough wood, you don't have enough coal, is there something else that you can use? The short answer is yes. The little bit longer answer is yes, but what? So I'm going to kind of go through and break down the stuff that I personally have discovered. I'm not going to kind of experiment here. I've already done that and spent plenty of time checking on it for you. And then I'm just going to break it down and show you kind of the results of what I've come up with. So I'm going to go ahead and go in my inventory here. And I've kind of tried to sort these, I guess, in a manner with the burn time, essentially, if you put them in your forge. So I'm going to start down here on the bottom. And these are full stacks of said items. So any of these numbers that you see here, these are the full stack that these items will take. So obviously for feathers, once you hit 250, if you get 251, that's going to start another stack of 1 feather. So we're going to start with just this. Now let's actually just go ahead and open the forge. So if we look up here where it says fuel, it says 00. So obviously we have no fuel in here, so it doesn't give us a time. If I take my stack of feathers here, and I place just one, so I'm taking the whole stack and I right click to drop one in there. 1 feather is 1 second of burn time. Well, depending on what you're smelting or what you're crafting, it'll tell you how long it's going to take to kind of craft the thing or smelt the item that you're burning. So pretty much 1 second's not going to get you anything. So you would need a full stack of these, which a full stack of feathers is going to get you 4 minutes and 10 seconds. These are all grouped together. So we have paper, we have cloth, plant fibers, old cash, and then of course feathers. These all provide the same amount. So if I take one piece of paper and drop it in there, it's 1 second. So only imagine if I take one cloth, it's 1 second. And look at that, 250 and 250, here is the feather, 4 minutes and 10 seconds again. So old cash at 10,000, if we put a stack in there, look at that. You get 166 minutes of burn time. So let's say you're in a playthrough where you're not using traders and this stuff is basically useless to you. You're scrapping it, turning it into paper. Well, it also has an alternate use to use as fuel. So as you can see here, paper is in the same category. However, this stack's a little bit higher. So if you're raiding those ATMs and you want some free fuel, you don't want to waste your wood because you're using it for building projects, you don't want to waste your coal because you're making gunpowder, save up your old cash, throw it in there. Same thing, you've graduated a little bit in your materials, you don't need plant fiber for anything else, it's basically useless to you. Take it, throw it in your forge, use it as fuel, burn it up. Don't just toss it on the ground and let it go to waste. If you watch my videos, you know I'm kind of a loot goblin. I like to hold on to everything. I like to know the stuff that has a use. So again, all of these items in this category here, 1 second burn time. You end up with a couple stacks of feathers, you're done with arrows, toss them in your forge or chem station. So next up on the list, we have gas cans. If I drop 1 gas can in here, that gives us a 2 second burn time. I'm going to tell you right now, I would not recommend using gas in your forge or chem station for any reason, simply because hopefully you have some sort of vehicle accessible to you that uses gas, unless you have a ridiculous abundance of gas or you're in creative and you want to stir up some controversy and you're just throwing gas in there like people light cigars with $100 bills, then you know what? By all means, go for it. But in a survival game, probably definitely not recommended. Same thing with the oil shale, although oddly enough, oil shale actually provides a little bit more burn time based on our hierarchy here of going up. So if we take 1 piece of leather and we drop it in there, We get 5 seconds. I don't know if you knew this. I didn't until I started doing this experiment that you can actually use leather as fuel. So you're out there killing wolves and bears and you have more leather than you know what to do with. You've graduated again into your steel tools and steel weapons and you don't need this stuff anymore. You have stacks of it laying around. You can use it in your forge. A full stack of leather give you 20 minutes and 50 seconds of burn time. So there's a good use for it, I think, instead of it just taking up space in your inventory. So same thing with oil shale. If you have some ridiculous monopoly on oil shale or you're just in creative and you get bored and you want to use this to burn stuff, full stack of it's going to give you 500 minutes. That's a lot of burn time. You can smelt quite a few things and craft a few items with that much time on the board. So the next one, this one's a little bit confusing to me. So if you're picking up these wooden chairs when you're running through houses, one, just to scrap them for wood, or two, to get them out of your way so you don't get hung up when the zombies are coming at you. Again, this one's a little odd to me. So let's take one chair and we'll put it in here. One chair is going to give us 1 minute and 40 seconds of burn time. That doesn't seem too bad there for one chair. We put a, let's take that out so we get a whole stack. 16 minutes and 40 seconds for a stack of chairs. That's not terrible, right? Well, that's considering, let's go just our inventory. We're going to go to this one chair. I want you to watch down here because when I hit S to scrap here, it's going to pop up here very quickly and it's going to show you. I'm going to hit S. We're going to get 3 wood from that. Okay. All right. 1 chair, 3 wood. Well, 3 wood's going to give us 2 minutes and 30 seconds of burn time, which is a lot more than the 1 minute and 40 seconds. So these are equivalent in terms of scrapping the chairs for the wood, but the wood is actually going to provide, that we get from scrapping it, is going to provide more burn time. So if you're looking for alternate fuel sources, or for whatever reason you already happen to be using wooden chairs as fuel in your fire, not recommended. If you're going to do that, you might as well scrap them for the 3 wood and get the extra burn time. So let's get those out of the way. So now that we're up here talking about wood, 1 wood is going to give us 50 seconds of burn time. That's not terrible. You, again, have a surplus of wood. You're not really using it anymore for anything. Your base is all steel, and it's just kind of something you do every day is go out and chop trees. You get a 6,000 stack of wood and you put it in there. You're going to get 5,000 minutes. I'm not even going to do the calculation on that in hours and days. So I'll let you do that, but I don't know how long 5,000 minutes is, but I can assure you, you can smelt and craft quite a few things, especially if you have bellows and an anvil in your forge. The other thing to look at is the wooden cubes. If you're opening up a supply drop and you get a whole stack of these and you're like, you know what, my base is more advanced than that. I'm just going to take this whole thing, plop it in there. Guess what? It's going to be a little bit less than a full stack of wood. However, definitely a decent amount of burn time, and you're getting some sort of use out of it if you're not actually going to be employing it anywhere. Good stuff to know. Now, unbeknownst to me, again, prior to doing this experiment, coal actually has the longest individual burn time. So if I drop 1 coal in here, it's going to give me 1 minute and 40 seconds of burn time, which that number sounds awfully familiar. So 1 chair is equal to 1 piece of coal. However, again, if we scrap that, it's equal to 3 pieces of wood, which 3 pieces of wood is going to give you a little bit more burn time, 2 minutes and 30 seconds versus 140. But individually, if we put a full stack of coal in there, we have 10,000 minutes of burn time. If you get your hands on 6,000 coal and you're able to do that, then your forge or chem station is going to be running for a very long time, and you are going to smelt and craft to your heart's content. However, you're also going to need to consider making gunpowder, making tires. If you've already got all your vehicles, then probably your biggest contender is going to be the gunpowder. So take that for what you will. Again, this was just meant to be a quick educational, informational video. If there's something that I missed, something you're aware of, I know some other wooden products in the game can be used, like signs. However, those signs, so let's just check here. We can make a wooden sign. This wooden sign includes nails. If we use it as fuel, there's no real benefit to that unless you find these in the game, which as far as I'm aware is not possible. You have to craft these. The return on the nails, unless you just don't care, you're going to get the same amount as if you would use 10 pieces of wood. So take that for what you will. I tried checking with old wooden tools, old armor, old anything made out of wood or cloth or leather. Any of those items are not going to work. So just for example, let's say, so let's get rid of this out of here. We're going to grab a level 5 club and we go in here and we place it in there. Well, it doesn't work. None of the padded armor, none of the leather armor, none of the wooden tools, bows, anything can be used as fuel. You're going to have to individually take this item, go into your inventory, scrap it, which that again is going to give us 3 wood, which is the same as a chair. And then you can toss that wood in there if you need to, or use it for your building projects in your base. So hopefully you guys found this video educational, helpful in any capacity to help you get rid of some of your extra resources. If you're a loot goblin like me, you've got storage boxes full of junk and you say, hey, I didn't know I could burn leather. Hey, toss it in your forge, save some wood, save some coal. Again, if I missed anything that you know of that can be thrown in there, please feel free to let me know down below. If you've made it this far, thank you for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Please feel free to like, comment, subscribe. I'm always open to constructive criticism or feedback, anything I can do to make my videos better for you. And with that, thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next video.